23W31A is the greatest snapshot Minecraft has ever released. And yeah, okay, I know some of you are a little bit upset about it, but this isn't what I'm talking about. Allow me to simply show you why it is the best. I'll give myself a few spawn eggs, and I'm just gonna run this function. Oh look, it's a creeper. Okay, I'll change to a different spawn egg and run the function again. Oh, look, it's a mushroom. I'll change to a different egg and oh, it's a warden. And then, you know, there's a slime as well. I did this with 4 lines of code, and it works for every entity. Oh, yeah, you go, warden. Just kick the crap out of these guys. Here is one of those lines of code, and, well, it looks a little weird, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, what we have got here is command variables. Basically, how this function works is it is called in the context of a JSON compound, which must contain an entry called entity. When this particular function gets called, the name of the entity is literally just pasted right here to replace this entire block, and then it just runs a summon command to summon that entity. It's called from this function, which basically just takes the item in my inventory, trims down the name a little bit to isolate the entity, and then just passes that entity straight into the other function. Basically, lines of code can be edited on the fly, which is something that not even some mainstream coding languages can do. So needless to say, this is stupidly powerful. Now maybe someday I will actually make a tutorial about how to use these. They're called function macros, but I'm making this video out of sheer excitement for what these things are capable of. Like, for example, I have an ender chest, and I'm just gonna start putting some blocks into my ender chest. Then I'm gonna get a blaze rod, put it in my offhand, and then if I just take any block and start building with the first slot in my inventory, the ender chest will start randomizing blocks into my main hand. As you can see, these are all of the blocks that I just dumped into the ender chest. I did this using function macros and also the help of that new /random command, which is also pretty cool. And without this snapshot, I think a data pack like this might have been entirely impossible, simply because you can't edit player data. But using macros, you can just paste lines of code into an item replace command and then have that insert things directly into your main hand. It's ridiculously cool. This could allow you to do things like build structures with randomized block palettes. I'm not even much of a builder, and even I can make something cool looking with this. I'll go ahead and make that data pack available for download if you want to get it for yourself. Keep in mind it does only work in the snapshot because, you know, macros. So what else could I do with this? New stuff is fun, but there are also a whole bunch of data packs I've made in the past that could really use some refinement, and macros are going to allow me to do that at an insane rate. I'm sure you guys remember this. Fillable firework. Giant box of solid colored blocks. I'm at the center of it, I click with the firework, it lags out a ton, and there we go, I have a custom firework rocket. If I launch this off, it will display that box very, very slowly. Look at that. That's my custom fireworks data pack, which I will link down below if you haven't seen my other video. And this firework that I'm holding right now is about as slow as one of these can possibly get. They can display particles representing blocks from a 9x9x9 area, which is exactly what this box is, and of course the more particles you have, the slower it runs. So let's try optimizing this with macros. Okay, I'm in a version that has macros enabled, and I'll go ahead and re-register this block to a new firework, and okay, that took just about the same amount of time to actually register this entire block. So macros didn't really seem to help out much with speed in that regard, but let's actually launch this thing off and see what happens. Look, okay, that was still a little bit slow, but that was like insanely fast compared to the last one. I'll go ahead and play them side by side so you can actually see the real difference in the new optimized data pack versus the original. I'll go ahead and post the new optimized custom fireworks data pack as well, and keep in mind that if you're using the new one, the fireworks generated by the new one will no longer be compatible with the old fireworks and vice versa, so you'll have to create new ones. Anyway, yeah, macros are amazing, and I'm really excited to play around with these a lot more, except not really, because I'm gonna have to quit Minecraft in like a week, which is another big thing I wanted to talk about. This is probably my last video for a very, very, very long time. Life stuff came up, I've got important things I need to do, and that will probably be taking up the majority of my life for a long time, so I guess this is goodbye for now. I don't know, I might come back to YouTube like really far in the future, but for now this is pretty much goodbye, so I will see you all later. Thank you all so much for watching, as always. I've been Conyer, it's been a pleasure.